Okay, this is episode 3, Sabine River, Wednesday, episode 3, free fishing on Sabine River. I'll just show you some of the spots I go for competition bass. The legendary largemouth are Big Mouth Billy, Mean Mouth, Overlord, Grayscale, Marauder. And the spotted legendaries are Dorian, Buck, the Legend, Beasley, and Cranky. Let's go. I always use cloudy weather. I always start at 7 in the morning. Now, Sabine River's a little different from other bass fishing lakes. The bass, they all kind of top out around 10 pounds. So Big Mouth Billy is a 10-pound bass. So during competition, you're really going for like above 7-pound bass. This is what I'm using. I'll use on Sabine River for bass. 3/16 Ned rig, number 4 hook. And I love using this tube. I think it does great for the big bass on Sabine River. I caught Big Mouth Billy with it. And I'm going with this. This is 6 inches. This is a little bigger. It's 6 inches long, this worm. And a 3/16 number 3 instead of number 4. So I'm mixing up my soft plastics a little bit, but that's the stuff I'm using. I guess I'll start out with the worm. Even though I love the tube for this lake. And this is just a great spot for legendary bass. And also big trophies. Wow, this is sinking really fast. I mean, this is probably the best hotspot on the whole map for everything. Blue cat, flathead, largemouth bass, spotted bass, you name it. And I'm going to spend 20 minutes here, 20 minutes at spot 2, and 20 minutes at a third spot that I know about. So come along with me on this little adventure at my favorite river. I mean, St. Lawrence is not my favorite. St. John's is awesome. But Sabine River is my favorite river in the game, almost exclusively because how it looks. It just looks so different than any of the other rivers. Lawrence looks cool, but it's just so hard to catch the bass there. I mean, there's so many muskie, and they always get in the way of you catching the bass. And to me, it's a little too full of muskie, really. Muskie and walleye to be a great bass lake where you catch a lot of bass. St. John's is much, much better, but I just don't know a lot about it. I know a lot about Sabine River here. I've caught all the legendaries except for meanmouth. All the legendary bass I've caught for this lake. I actually caught Marauder here a few months ago. He's the smallest one. But I guess what you're really looking for in the competition is bass over 7 pounds. Like in the 7 range. And I guess about 5 of them. I guess anything over 7 would be quite competitive. Oh, this is a striper. I don't want this guy. I'm not fishing for striper. But you can fish for anything here on this spot. It's a well-known hot spot for bass and catfish. Anything you're looking for, any of the legendary fish. You got a great shot at catching it here. But I'm after pretty exclusively bass. Like over 7 pound trophies is really what you want to find for competition on Sabine. Like if you want to compete bass fishing on this lake, really got to have the over 7 pounders. And if you want to practice playing the tournament, just go to cloudy weather and fish from 7 to 1400. And that is the weather and the time of the actual tournament. That's a big bass. I want it. Yeah, got it. Got it. Got a heartbeat. And the real amazing bass is this over 7 pounder bass. That's what you're really going for. But if you come up to this little canal here and it kind of dries up and freezes up and all the fish disappear, move the boat up about like 15 or 20 feet and the hot spot will be there. This spot never goes cold. 7, 8. All right. This bass here would be highly competitive in the tournament. The legendary bass started like 8 pounds here. So that's a real beauty. So 1 7 pounder so far with this 6-inch worm. So this is the first time I've tried this thing for the trophies on Sabine. I'm getting snagged a lot with this Ned rig. I was kind of hoping that since it's a soft plastic, it would be weedless. But apparently this is not weedless. But after this, I'll show you a bunch of spots where I fish for bass and where I would play the competition and where I have caught legendary largemouth bass. If you're interested in the bass fishing on Sabine, there's so many other fish here, but they can get in the way too. But it's nowhere near as bad as St. Lawrence, in my opinion. This lure is getting snagged a lot. But it has got me a 7-8. So I don't think I'm really ready to give up on it yet. A lot of other fish get in the way here. So you may have to bust a lot of them off. There's nowhere in Sabine River where there's an abundance of largemouth and an absence of all the other species. There's always a lot of other species like getting in the way here as well. But this will be all bass fishing on Sabine. I'll just show you some of the lures I'm working with. That would not be the best score. It's only 5.12, about right around 5.5, 6 pounds. And you see all these other fish get in the way. That's because there's giant bass here, and you can win the competition mostly just staying here. But I'm gonna move in 20 minutes. I want to show you 3 spots. Because to me, in the competition, it's best if you have 2 or 3 reliable honey holes for giant trophies. It's just too risky to have just one. If that one goes down, you're totally at the mercy of that one spot. And if you can't catch like a big trophy on that one spot, and you have nowhere to go. If you only have one hot spot, you really need a few is optimal. 3 over 3 is optimal. But I'm just finishing up Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. I bought it for my sister. I liked it so much. By Weta Workshop. The same people who did all the costumes and prosthetics for Lord of the Rings, the movies. and they did an awesome job on a new Lord of the Rings game. I think you should buy it. It's cheap, but it took me like 90, 100 hours to completely finish the game. It's like $30, so it's a real good value for your money. Tales of the Shire. You gotta check it out. You get to create your own hobbit and kind of renovate, unlock and renovate your own hobbit hole and cook 5-star meals and garden 3-star vegetables and just a bunch of other things. It reminds me of Breath of the Wild Zelda without the fighting and without the shrines. Just a lot of like searching around for like foraging for items and the cooking and has a long, interesting story and with funny characters and just like situational comedy and it's like Amy Gandalf shows up. 7. 17817. But if you can't find any further back, I would move up a little bit until the fish finder really starts blowing up again, and your bass will be there. Your 7-pounders will be there. But that's what I'm after is the big 7-pound trophies. And of course, Big Mouth Billy, he tops the list at 10 pounds. I think he might be just over 10 pounds. I forget exactly. But I know he's at least 10 pounds. And you can definitely catch him here. I've seen a video where a guy caught him here, like up against the bank. I really trust the soft plastics. So I'm going with a tube, a small tube, because the bass are just smaller here than just about anywhere else. Here in St. Lawrence, they both get about 10 pounds and no bigger. That's why I'm going for the 7-pound trophies. But I'll say a couple more spots before the hour's up. A couple more spots that are just loaded with big trophy bass, 7, 8-pounders, and the kind of bass you really need for the online open, the competition. 611's decent, but you really, really want 7. 5, at least 7-pounders will probably get you in the top 5 or at least the top 10. But probably the top 5. It all depends on the field, on the competitors, and what kind of a day they all have. I sure would like to get one more 7-pounder. Because, I mean, the legendaries they start out at 8 pounds. I mean, you can't do much better than the 7-pounders on the average. It's got a heartbeat. It's a trophy bass. If it's a 7-pounder, I will leave. Nope. Pretty close. But I just really think you have to have the 7s. 7s minimum. High 7s are the preferred fish. 7, 10 plus. So far, I did get a 7-8 here. Which is highly competitive. Well, this is a 3 hook. That's perfect for the smaller bass in the game. But so far, I got 2 7-pounders. It's 10 o'clock. And really, I need to move to another hotspot because you just don't know how much the computer is really going to give you on each hotspot. I just do not believe in relying too heavily on one particular hotspot. I believe in moving after 2 giant trophies, giving another hotspot a chance to yield, rinsing your first spot, going to a new hotspot, and making that one perform. And then maybe even coming out back here in a pinch at the very end if you need one final trophy. But let's move and I'll show you another one of my hotspots. Everyone knows about this spot. But I'll show you some spots you might not know about. There's my map up to the top left. And I'll show you a spot for largemouth bass where I caught big mouth Billy. And I caught the legend. And I caught another legendary spotted besides the legend. But when you come up to this fork, you make a left. There's a well-known spot for bass in here. You can catch 7-pounders in there. Let me see if I can find this hot spot. Okay, here it is. Now you see this little point of land right here. There's a ton of fish here. Plenty of bass. I'm gonna switch it up and go with my tube and my 4-hook. And on medium cast. If you don't know how to medium cast, you just press the left stick in. And that will change your stance. Now in here, I caught the biggest bass on Sabine River. So it's worth knowing about. I have a video on my channel, my Big Mouth Billy video. So I just know after catching him that there can be some big trophies in here. Big trophy bass. I mean, for Sabine River, pretty big. You really want the 7s for competition. 6'4". But Sabine River is absolutely awesome. I do wish the bass were like really giant, huge here. But like, I guess I don't mind if they're smaller on average. I just know if I catch a bass over 7 pounds, that's really giant for Sabine River. That's a giant trophy for Sabine. And I'll stay here till 12, hoping for a big trophy or two, as many as I can get, and even perhaps a legendary bass. This looks like it could be a big trophy. No, it isn't. I just hoped it was. He kind of stayed out there at a distance for a long time, so I thought, well, maybe he is something. There's just an abundance of all manner of fish here, and they bite readily. They're not like real skittish here. I caught many legendary bass here, like at least 3. And in a very short period of time, actually. I believe that was all on like one game day. But just a ton of trophy bass. I mean legendary bass. I haven't really paid attention to the trophy bite because I caught so many legendaries that I really wasn't paying attention to the trophy bite here. If the trophy bite is really good. But this point is just fire. I mean, just tons and tons of bass. And tons of legendary bass. I definitely think it's worth, like, sharing this spot. Because I just caught so many legendaries here. So many legendary bass. This could maybe be a little big. Hopefully. No. No, he's really small. The first spot was really fire. I got two 7-pounders, one over 7, two 7 at least from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's a very competitive spot for largemouth here. But right now I'm playing Elden Ring. I just started playing Elden Ring. It's pretty tough when you first start. You don't have much health. And so you can't like just go and just kill all the enemies. I got the case and the disc. Shadow of the Erd Tree edition with the DLC and the full DLC physical version. It was like $70. But I got like the ultimate version of Elden Ring. Alright, I am having some trouble with the tube. So I'm going to go back with the worm, this 6-inch worm, and a 3-hook. I just had such good luck with this. At the last spot with the big trophies, man. They really went for this. But before, I had a lot of luck with that too. I never fished bass on Sabine without that tube. That's how much I like it because it's also great for the spotted bass. All the legendary spotted bass here, they just love that tube. Plus, I caught the biggest largemouth with that tube, so I'm a big believer. And when you come here, that tube is a real giant killer. If I get just one 7-pounder here, I might move then. But you should definitely know about this spot if you love Sabine and you love the bass on Sabine. You should definitely bass fish this spot. Oh, that's a drum. I found this spot by myself, just fishing around, checking all the points and the edges everywhere. And you can see the fish finder just lights up. When you get here, it just explodes with action. Just says fish everywhere. And indeed, there is fish everywhere. And it's just a great spot for legendary bass. But you should definitely know about this spot, I think. If you love Sabine River and you want to bass fish it, you might think, I'll go inside this area here where that big tree is, but there's like nothing in there. All the fish are kind of right on this point here. All the bass. And I've really been struggling catching a 7-pound largemouth here. Maybe I'll try a medium cast. But I caught Big Mouth Billy right in that grass with the tube. And I'm pretty sure it was, well, now I don't remember if it was a 4-hook or a 3-hook. But it was a Ned rig or a jig head. But definitely try this spot out for, oh, there's one. Could this be 7 pounds? I hope so. I know there are extra giant size trophies here because I caught I caught the biggest bass in the whole river on this spot. Oh, wow.
Check out the peepers on that swamp dog.
This is legendary size 715. So this is an 8-pounder. Now I have a 7-pounder, a 7 8-pounder, and a 7 15-pounder. So legendary size starts at 8 pounds. I believe that's what Marauder weighs. Now I feel like I have to stay here for at least another few minutes. That was a highly, highly competitive fish. That was not.
That's a little chunk panda.
Just try, definitely try this 6-inch worm with a 3-hook Ned rig or jig head, because it is really actually performed quite effectively for the 7-pounders on Sabine here. And the tube kind of let me down today. I kind of lost like a whole bunch of time really relying on it. I have had a lot of luck with the tube and the legendaries here, the legendary bass. But this is episode 3. I started Sabine River right after Chickamauga. Chickamauga was my first obsession. And I caught like all the legendary largemouth, except Hunter, Serenity twice, Brett twice, Scarlet once. And I was absolutely obsessed with it. But the more I played the game, honestly, the more I liked the DLC maps. And Chickamauga less and less. Not that I dislike Chickamauga. It's just that I like the DLC maps so much more. Chickamauga is very small, and the DLC maps are all just enormous, enormous Bass Lake maps with hidden hotspots and secrets and just a bunch of legendary bass. And Chickamauga, I don't know, maybe I played it a little too much, and I guess maybe I got a little tired of it. I'd have to go to the next hotspot, and you just go left around this curve, and it's very close. And I've almost rambled for an hour about Sabine. It's right here. Is a great spot. This tree right here. This is a great spot for largemouth bass. And I think you'll agree when you see it. It's fire. There's an abundance of largemouth bass and spotted bass. And I did catch grayscale, the legendary largemouth bass here. There's just a lot of fish in general and a lot of largemouth bass back here. It's certainly a hot spot. And it's almost 1,300. So I'm out of time. I have not performed well enough to win the round. But if I got 2 more 7-pounders right now, I would probably. But that's how good you need to do on the online open. 5 over 7. So when you come to Sabine bass fishing, just really pay attention to where you catch the 7-pounders. Because they're highly competitive for the online competition. This one doesn't look very big. But as you can see, the first fish I caught, oh yeah, he is big. Wow!
That is Sack Daddy's
7-13, 2 almost 8-pounders. So I would be doing amazing right now if this was the open, one of the rounds in the open, this would be a great attempt. If I get one more of those, I would probably win the round. Well, I'm in first place. But as you can see, it's loaded. Absolutely loaded. With all manner of fish. In particular, some really big largemouth bass. How about, yeah, I'll take him. He looks enormous, but 7-pounders are rare, so they're not a dime a dozen. I just got lucky, and I have 4 now. 2 over 710 as well. 178 and 17 even. I would be doing absolutely amazing. Okay, I would probably win this round. 7-13. I would probably win the online open if I had a round, every round, all 4 rounds, I performed like I did today. So I guess since I'm done with the competition, I'll show you one more spot that I like to go to fish for largemouth bass on Sabine. Just come up to this fork again. And this little inlet here, it's a huge favorite for cat fishermen that come to Sabine. There's a lot of catfish in here, but there's also an abundance of largemouth bass. I never caught a legendary spotted here, but I have caught many trophy largemouth. I never caught a legendary largemouth here. Or a legendary spotted. I believe it's primarily a catfish location. I just know when I first started playing the tournaments, wow, another 7. A low 7. The best is the high 7s, of course. Those around 8 pounds. 8 is legendary size. That's how big Marauder is. So anything close to 8 is phenomenal. But when I first started playing the tournaments, Sabine was like the first place I competed at. And this was the only spot I knew. And so I fished the whole competition right smack dab here. And of course, I was utterly destroyed by the pros that know all about Sabine and know Sabine really well. But I know from before when I first started that there are big bass in here. Big trophies, like over 7, which is what you're shooting for during the online open. So it's only $13.30.
That toad right there, that's a little chump panda.
Anything before 1400 adds to your total score on cloudy weather. Anything before, after 7 and before 1400 will add to your total score. But that's how I recommend to play the tournament. You know, start at spot 1, go to spot 2. I caught a huge 7 there. It was like 7 over 10 ounces, 7 pounds over 10 ounces. A really important fish there. And then spot 3, that was the hottest. And I just believe in sticking and moving. And don't try to get 5 giant trophies in one spot. At the most, you'll get 3, and that's really risky. Like spending all that time on one spot to maybe get 3, when you should probably move after 2. But there, you just got to use your judgment, you know, like, what do you think? Do you trust the spot to yield more? Do you believe it's a 2 trophy spot or just maybe a 1 trophy spot? How much do you really trust the spot itself? So all that comes into play. It's all part of your game. And on the online open, you just got to make all those decisions yourself, really, and try and make the best possible decisions and let the chips fall where they may. But I did catch a 1 over 7 pounder here. So that would actually increase my score by about 3 ounces. That would cancel out the 7 pound even that I caught on spot 1. So I did improve my score the tiniest fraction by coming here, but you can see there is an abundance of largemouth, and there's like an absence of spotted bass, and there's an abundance of catfish that will not go after your bass lures, and they will not get in the way here. I just remember fishing this spot when I first started and losing terribly. So this is my last choice. That's only because I fished the whole competition here and I didn't know any more hot spots at all. And I didn't move because I didn't know where to go. I know Sabine much better now. As you can see, I scored very, I would be in the top 5, if not first place, with a performance like that in 1 hour. And try it out. You'll definitely catch some legendary bass. On these spots. Although, I'm not sure about this one. I have never caught any, and I've spent a ton of time here. I have never caught any legendary bass, spotted or largemouth here on this particular location. And every single other spot I showed you, I have.
Nick that fatty wacky. Give that hog a
So
break.
4 more minutes in episode 3, Sabine River. My favorite river in this awesome fishing game. Folks, it's only got like vertical fish and bugs and problems because Dovetail sold the company. Now they're doing like a train simulation game or some nonsense, but in my opinion, they should go back to this. This was an incredible, amazing experience. And honestly, I don't even want to play a train simulation game. So I'm not really sure what they're thinking. Probably it's the new leadership. They think some train game is going to be great. No. Most people are not going to want to play that. We want a fishing game. A new Bassmaster with new lakes and new boss fish and all the crazy awesome stuff that a Bassmaster has to offer. But it's only got bugs because they sold the company in 2023 and never got to update or patch or do anything with the game. That's why there's all those little problems. Like my version. I have a download version here I'm playing, and my game literally crashes. Like all the time. Right in the middle of me making a video. It'll crash and I'll lose my whole video. So speaking of that, I'm going to turn this episode in and quit 2 minutes early. Just in case. Thanks for watching my videos, and you're the ones who make this show something special. For caring enough to watch. So thanks for being my viewers, and we'll see you in the next episode, episode 4. Bye-bye.